115 it will take time.
115?
Because the students are joining. Okay. Some of the students are coming.
मोबाइल साइलेंट पे कर लो। नहीं, ये रिकॉर्ड करने की जरूरत नहीं, एक थोड़ा बहुत रिकॉर्ड कर लो इसका। ये स्क्रीन रिकॉर्डिंग होना चाहिए ये लेक्चर का ना, वैसे भी यूट्यूब पे आ जाएगा।
Anybody who's playing YouTube live?
लिंक तो है।
लिंक है? नहीं यार, ये बता। पासवर्ड किसको पता नहीं?
चौधरी साहब से पता।
किसका? 33, 38
आर्मी 33
और
ऑल रनिंग। करण से बात कर, क्या रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं? ठीक है, चल यूट्यूब से तो मिल ही जाएगा। हाँ करण, कैप्टन राहुल बोल रहा हूँ। ये बोल रहा हूँ अभी स्टूडेंट्स लॉग इन कर रहे हैं, द मोमेंट आई से कि हाँ इस पे नहीं है, ये हमारी लिंक अलग है। हाँ मतलब इस लिंक पे कोई नहीं करेगा ये, दिस लिंक एंड इट विल टेक 10 more minutes ऑलमोस्ट। हाँ ओके ठीक है, ओके ओके यूट्यूब पे कर रहा हूँ, यूट्यूब पे लाइव कर दिया हूँ। यहाँ से आप यहाँ पे इधर कोई मूवमेंट मतलब आप बैठे जो, नहीं तो ये फिर बैकग्राउंड। जब चालू करना माइक, जब जब बोलना चाहिए। जो भी स्पीकर है
बच्चे ऐसे करते हैं एक स्कूल में देखिए बच्चे
We can't finish the business.
दोनों
Service staff.
just 30 seconds.
So each year,
ये तो ये देखा रखते हैं यहाँ पे यहाँ से कैच करके मैम ये यही का असर है और जब बोलना है तो बस ये लगा लेना स्टार्ट करने के लिए हाँ हाँ उस पर 115 अभी उस पर हाँ ऐसे कर लूँगा मैं बस ऐसे ही करना है ये Mute हो गया। आपने शुरू mute
But I can also be
Yes, ma'am.
and we share with you that it is not for us. That was by the news release of the by the source of the other as this brings this share there's a country right now. Interviews with all the speakers, the presenters, pages one, pages one, much. She is a computer science engineer. Job. She dedicated us to our she was she has such a situation not easy as enjoy national experience
इवेंट बस चालू हो गई यहाँ पे ये इंट्रोडक्शन दे रहा हूँ मैम कभी आई नहीं।
Thank you.
सर बस
Good afternoon, madam. On behalf of Three Shakti Board, I extend heartiest welcome to the principal, to the staff and students of Goenka Public School. Let me also take this opportunity to facilitate and extend my compliments to have been selected by Ministry of Defence to view this presentation on the eve of Independence Day 1971 or Ops and motivational talk on how to join Indian Army. My heartiest compliments to all of you, ma'am. Now my team will be presenting you the presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice time. Once again.
सैकड़ों परिंदे आसमान पर आज नजर आने लगे। बलिदानियों ने दिखाई है राह उन्हें आजादी से उड़ने की। Good morning, everyone. Respected principal, teachers, and my dear children. First of all, I wish you all a very happy 75th Independence Day in advance. I feel proud and privileged to be an Indian, and today I got this opportunity to present before you the importance of Independence Day and 1971 war with Pakistan. It was indeed a historic victory for every Indian, wherein 90,000 Pakistani army soldiers surrendered before Indian army. India played a historic role in liberation of Bangladesh from the tyrannical clutches of Pakistan army. India is one of the oldest civilizations in the world, spanning a period of more than 10,000 years, and witnessing the fusion of several customs and traditions, which are reflective of the rich culture and heritage of the country. We all know that Independence Day is very important day for all of us. We got independence on 15th August 1947 from the British rule. We can just sit here and think how difficult it has been to urge India free from British rule. Indians fought from 1857 to 1947 and urged this freedom. They took the lives of lakhs of freedom fighters. Independence of India was possible because of our great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Shri Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and freedom fighters like Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Shivram Harish Rajguru, Mangal Pandey, Rani Lakshmi Bai, and many more, who struggled hard for many years to get freedom against British rule. Our first Prime Minister of India raised the Indian flag at Red Fort in New Delhi on 15th August 1947. His words were, "Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny. At the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom." We cannot merely say that 15th August is just about freedom. This day is plethora of emotions. It reminds us of the pain of being enslaved, of the strength in unity. It defines sacrifice. It gives us the example that some wars can be won with non-violence. And of all the things, it makes us value and cherish freedom we have today. It is our responsibility as proud citizens of this country to sincerely perform our duties and progress together for growth and development of our country. Youth like you constitutes major portion of the total national population. Our future as well as present is in your hands. Keeping the sacrifices of our ancestors in mind, we should all take an oath to carve a better future for our motherland. To maintain and sustain the independence, India has fought many major wars. Our soldiers have sacrificed their lives to maintain India as a sovereign and independent nation. One such war was fought in 1971, and this year the government of India has taken an initiative to celebrate 50 years of 1971 war victory, the liberation of Bangladesh from the clutches of Pakistan. India celebrates December 16 as VIJAY to commemorate its victory over Pakistan during the 1971 war that led to the creation of Bangladesh. Last year, that is on 16 December 2020, to celebrate 50 years of our victory, our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, lit 4 flames called victory flames. These victory flames since then have been traveling across the country. These flames are carried to various parts of the country, including to the villages of Paramveer Chakra and Mahavir Chakra awardees of 1971 war. Various commemorative events are also conducted pan-India, wherein war veterans were facilitated. Many band displays, seminars, exhibitions, equipment displays, film festivals, conclaves, and adventure activities are planned. The Indo-Pakistan War of 1971 was a military confrontation between India and Pakistan that occurred during Bangladesh Liberation War in East. Pakistan from 3rd December 1971 began on December 3rd and lasted for 30 13 days, after which Pakistan surrendered to India and Bangladesh. The Indian army brought in Pakistani army to its knees, took 93,000 of its prisoners, and gave independence to 75 million people of Bangladesh. It was also the largest military surrender after World War II. Pakistan was divided within itself into West and East Pakistan, separated by more than 1,000 miles of Indian territory. Bengalis in East Pakistan soon realized that they are being ruled and dominated by the military of West Pakistan, with no autonomy of their own. It all started when Bengalis realized that they are comprises around 56% of the population of Pakistan, and yet Urdu was imposed as the federal language by the central government in West Pakistan. Jinnah further declared that Urdu and only Urdu embodies the spirit of Muslim nation and will remain the only federal language of the country, and those who disagree would be labeled as enemy of Pakistan. This sparked unrest in East Pakistan. The people demanded and led to the Bengali language movement in 1950. The people demanded that Bengali to be given federal status alongside Urdu and English. The government refused to do so and retaliated by removing Bengali script from currency and stamps, a practice which has been in place since British Raj. The students of the University of Dhaka and other political activists defied the law and organized a protest on 21st February 1952. The movement reached its climax when police killed student demonstrators on that day. The death provoked widespread civil unrest. Then in 1964, East Pakistan riots, the massacre and ethnic cleansing of Bengali Hindus from East Pakistan in the wake of an alleged theft of what was believed to be the Prophet's hair from the Hazrat Bal shrine in Jammu and Kashmir in India. The salient feature was its urban nature and selective targeting on Bengali Hindu-owned industries and merchant establishments in the capital city of Dhaka. This resulted in unending wave of Bengali Hindu refugees in neighboring West Bengal. The refugee rehabilitations became a national problem in India, and hundreds of refugees were resettled in the region of Orissa and Madhya Pradesh. General elections were held in Pakistan on December 7, 1970, to elect a member of the National Assembly. They were the first general elections since the independence of Pakistan, and ultimately the only ones held prior to the independence of Bangladesh. Voting took place in 300 general constituencies, of which 162 were in East Pakistan and 138 in West Pakistan. The elections were a furious contest between two social democratic parties, the West-based Pakistani People Party and the East-based Awami League. The Awami League was the sole major party in the East Wing, while in the West Wing, the Pakistan People Party faced fair competition. The result was a victory for the Awami League, which gained an absolute majority, winning 160 of the 162 general seats and all 7 women seats in East Pakistan. The Pakistan People Party won only 81 general seats and 5 women seats, all in West Pakistan. The elected assembly initially did not meet as President Yahya Khan and the Pakistan People's Party did not want the majority party from East Pakistan forming government. This caused great unrest in East Pakistan, which soon escalated into the call for independence on March 26, 1971, and ultimately led to War of Independence, with East Pakistan becoming the independent state of Bangladesh. To curb the Bengali nationalist movement in former East Pakistan in March 1971, Operation Searchlight was planned by the Pakistan Army. Original plans envisioned taking control of all East India major cities, important locations, capture Sheikh Mujib, and capture Dhaka University. President Yahya Khan called on the military, which was overwhelming, led by West Pakistanis, to suppress dissent in the East on 25th March 1971. Mass arrests of dissidents began. The Tika Khan, also known as Butcher, Butcher of East Pakistan issued orders for crackdown to start at 0100 hours on 26 March on Dhaka. Thus began Bangladesh War of Liberation. Pakistani army systematically and cruelly executed 99 teachers, 13 journalists, 49 physicians, 42 lawyers, and 16 writers. 14 December is thus marked as Mataya Intellectual Day in Bangladesh. 3 million innocent Bengali civilians lost their lives. More than 3 lakh women were raped. Approximately 10 million Bangladeshis fled the country to seek refuge in the western Indian state, including a number of resistant leaders of East Pakistan. We opened our borders to allow the Bengali refugees to find safe shelter. Prime Minister on 27 March 1971 expressed full support on her government for its independence struggle of the people of East Pakistan and concluded that instead of taking in millions of refugees, it was economical to go to war against Pakistan. The Indian government repeatedly appealed to the international community for assistance but failed to elicit any response, despite the External Affairs Minister Swan Singh meeting foreign ministers of other countries. The Mukti Bahini, also known as the Bangladesh Force, was the guerrilla resistance movement consisting of Bangladesh military, paramilitary, and civilians during the War of Liberation that transformed East Pakistan into Bangladesh in 1971. A formal military leadership of the resistance was created in April 1971 under the Provisional Government of Bangladesh. The military council was headed by General M.A.G. Osamni and 11 sector commanders. The Bangladesh Armed Forces were established on 4th April 1971. Using guerrilla warfare tactics, the Mukti Bahini secured control over large parts of the Bengali countryside. It conducted successful ambush and sabotage campaigns and included the nation Bangladesh Air Force and Bangladesh Navy. The Mukti Bahini received training and weapons from India, where people in the West Bengal shared a common Bengali ethnic and linguistic heritage with East Pakistan. By November 1971, an Indian-Pakistan war seemed inevitable. In November 1971, thousands of people led by conservative Pakistani politicians marched in Lahore and across Pakistan, calling for Pakistan to crush India. India responded by starting a massive buildup on Indian army on the western borders. The army waited until December, when the dry grounds in the east made for easier operations and the Himalayan passes were closed by snow, preventing any Chinese intervention. On 23rd November, President Yahya Khan declared a national state of emergency and told the country to prepare for war. On the evening of 3rd December at about 1740, the Pakistani Air Force launched surprise primitive strike on 11 airfields in northwestern India, including Agra, which was 480 kilometers from the border. This action marked the official start of Indo-Pakistan War of 1971. Gandhi ordered that immediate mobilization of troops and launch a full-scale invasion of Pakistan. This involved Indian forces in massive coordination, air, sea, and land assault on Pakistan for all fronts. The main Indian objective on the eastern front was capture Dhaka, and on the western front was to prevent Pakistan from entering Indian soil. In the western theater of the war, the Indian Navy Western Naval Command under Vice Admiral S.N. Kohli successfully launched a surprise attack on Karachi port on night of 4th and 5th December 1971 under the codename Trident. The naval attack involving the Soviet built-up Osa missile boats sank the Pakistan naval destroyers PNS Khyber and minesweeper PNS Muhasib with PNS Shah Jahan was also badly damaged. Pakistani naval sources reported that about 720 Pakistani sailors were killed or wounded. Pakistan lost reserve fuels and many commercial ships, thus crippling the Pakistan Navy further involvement in the conflict in the eastern theater of the war. The Indian Eastern Naval Command under Vice Admiral Neelkant Krishnan completely isolated East Pakistan by a naval blockade in the Bay of Bengal, trapping the Eastern Pakistan Navy and 8 foreign merchant ships in their ports. According to one Pakistani scholar, Tariq Ali, Pakistan lost half its navy in the war. After the attempt preemptive attack, the Pakistan Air Force adopted a defensive stance in response to the Indian retaliation. As the war progressed, the Indian Air Force continued to battle the Pakistan Air Force over conflict zones, but the number of sorties flown by Pakistan Air Force decreased day by day. The Indian Air Force flew 4,000 sorties, while the Pakistan Air Force offered little retaliation, partially because of the precocity of non-Bengali technical personnel. In the east, number 14 Squadron tail chopper under Squadron leader P.Q. Mehdi who was taken as prisoner of war, was destroyed, putting the Dhaka Air Defense out of commission and resulting in Indian air superiority in the east. Before the start of the war, the Indian Army was well organized on both fronts and enjoyed significant numerical superiority over the Pakistan Army on both fronts. Pakistan launched several ground offenses, but the Indian Army held its ground and initiated well-coordinated ground operations on both fronts. Major ground attacks were concentrated on the western borders by the Pakistan Army, fighting together with the Pakistan Marines in the southern border, but the Indian Army was successful in penetrating into Pakistan soil. It eventually made some quick and initial gains, including the capture of around 15,110 kilometers square of Pakistan territory. This land gained by Indian Azad Kashmir, Punjab and Sindh sector was later seceded in the Shimla Agreement of 1972 as a gesture of goodwill. On 23rd November 1971, the Indian Army conventionally penetrated to the eastern fronts and crossed East Pakistan borders to join their Bengali nationalist allies. The Indian campaign Bilkrig technique exploited weaknesses in the Pakistani positions and bypassed opposition. This resulted in a swift victory faced with great losses. The Pakistani military capitulated in less than a fortnight, and psychological panic spread in the Eastern Command military leadership. Subsequently, the Indian Army encircled Dhaka and issued an ultimatum to surrender in 30 minutes. Time window on 16 December 1971. Upon hearing that ultimatum, the East Pakistan government collapsed when the Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi, commander of Eastern Command, and his deputy Vice Admiral M.S. Khan surrendered without offering any resistance. On 16 December 1971, Pakistan ultimately called for unilateral ceasefire and surrendered its entire four-tier military to the Indian Army, hence ending the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971. War of 1971 is an example of war in which planning and conduct were executed to perfection. It was a splendid demonstration of coordination of all our armed forces performing at their best. Now to enlighten you all about Army and motivate you to join Army, I would like to call upon Lieutenant Giridharan. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Good afternoon to all viewers. I am Lieutenant Giridharan to take on from here and brief you about who should take up armed forces as their career. I will also briefly touch on the various avenues to take up this profession. What army offers you? This clip was a small glimpse about this vast organization, and you could have made out how challenging and diversified this profession of arms is. Here, every man practice, preach, and radiate the values of leader in almost every action, which in turn transforms them into soldiers with high military values. Joining the armed forces gives you to serve the motherland. The armed forces give you a platform to serve motherland with great pride. Although there are many ways to render service to the motherland, but there is always difference between serving and serving at the cost of one's life. Life adds special flavor to those who wish to protect the land, while the protected will never know. The saying written in the war memorial of Tawan goes like this: how better a man can die than facing the fearful odds for the ashes of his forefather and the temple of his gods. For us, our country and honor come first for self. Army is completely different from the 9 to 5 job. Each day gives a new assignment, and believe me, 20 years from now, those of you who have joined the forces will have lasting and fulfilling memories of the challenging times of your tenure. Lead gallant men under your command. The Indian Army gives you an opportunity to command and lead gallant soldiers at a very young age. You can be in any profession, but leading gallant men into battle can never be done anywhere else. In the profession of arms, the soldiers will always follow you and will be ready to lay down their lives for you. This is the kind of professionalism followed in the armed forces. Sports and adventure. There are a plethora of sports and adventure activities which you can do while being in the armed forces. You name a sport or an adventure activity, we do that. This being the reason, Army, since its inception, has been a major contributor in bringing home medals in all the international events, be it Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, or Olympics. No other profession in the world will give you such an opportunity and infrastructure to play while you work. Scope for higher studies. You can join the best management and engineering colleges in the country, which includes the IITs and IIMs. For those of you interested in the research, will get a chance to join the DRDO. Foreign assignments. India has large presence in the United Nations peacekeeping missions. Recently, about 7,500 troops are deployed overseas. Officers go to many foreign countries to do various courses, attend seminars, participate in joint exercises. Officers also get posted as military attaches in Indian embassies. Job security. In armed forces, you have 100% job security, and even after the retirement, Army not only takes care of you, but also your family. This is the beauty of the organization, which you find nowhere else. Sophisticated equipment. As far as guns, tanks, aeroplanes, fighter jets, warships fascinate you, then this is the right place. Here, you get a chance to use such high-tech and expensive machinery. No other career will give you such an opportunity at a very young age. Unmatched reputation. Donning the uniform in itself is a matter of great pride and honor. The respect that you get in the armed forces is immense. Not everyone is privileged to wear uniform. It is earned. Career advancements in Army. While being in the armed forces, you get to do various courses. Even in the pre-commissioning academies, give you a chance to pursue any of the following courses. For example, in NDA, you get to do a BA or a BSc or BCA. And if you join a 10+2 TES, then you get to do BTech. Also, while you grow up in your service, you get to do various military courses to gain proficiency in your arm and service. Officers are entitled 2 years of study leave with full payment, during which the officer can pursue any of course of his choice. There are many specialized courses for the technical officers. For example, in the Corps of Engineers, Corps of EME, and in Corps of Signals, you will be made to do the specialization of the technical education, which you have, for example, an MTech degree or a specialization in your particular field. Then there comes the prestigious staff courses, the TSSC and the TSOC. Sports and adventure in Army. The Indian Armed Forces have always been on the forefront when it comes to producing sportsmen of international pedigree. Sports have always been an integral part of the military fitness regime. To complement the above, the Army has infrastructures which includes all forms of sports. To name a few, golf, tennis, squash, aquatics, hockey, football, basketball, athletics, swimming, horse riding. If you have flair for adventure, then there is no other organization in comparison to the Indian Armed Forces, which gives you a platform for such a huge variety of adventure activities. Some of them paragliding, skydiving, paramotors, whitewater rafting, surfing, water sailing, scuba diving, mountaineering, micro light flying. Allowances and benefits for armed forces personnel. Apart from salary, there are many allowances you get on being part of the armed forces, and there are many facilities which are there for your family members as well. Some of them, free medical treatment, quality schooling for children, insurance through Army Group Insurance Fund, canteen stores department facility, membership of clubs and officer institutes, contingency, field, high altitude allowance as applicable, transportation allowance, aviation para allowance, specialist technical allowance. Challenges in Indian Army. External security against hostile neighbors, to fight ongoing proxy war at Jammu and Kashmir, to engage in CI and IS duties, aid to civil authorities and disaster management, shortage of officers, to engage in cyber and various warfare. Let me introduce you to the various entry schemes to take up this profession. Officer entries. UPSC, through UPSC, get to join National Defence Academy, Indian Military Academy, direct entry, Short Service Commission, non-technical for men and women. Through non-UPSC, TES, Technical Entry Scheme, TGC, Technical Graduate Course, Short Service Commission Technical, Short Service Commission NCC Special, Short Service Commission Judge Advocate General for both men and women. Service entry includes ACC Army Cadet College, SCO Special Commissioned Officers, PCSL Permanent Commission Special List, and others include the Mont Veterinary Corps. The selection process through UPSC and non-UPSC. In UPSC selection process, the candidates appear in Union Public Service Commission examination, clearing which the candidates are called for their services selection board. Once these candidates get recommended through the services selection board, they undergo a complete medical checkup. And once the candidates show up in the merit list, are called for their pre-commissioning training in the academies. While in non-UPSC through entries, the candidates are directly called for services selection board based on the cutoff with their 10+ marks. The other entries are shown in this slide. Apart from NDA 10+2 TES, the others include the Indian Military Academy, where the age criteria is 19 to 24, with an eligibility of graduation from recognized university. Short Service Commission, non-technical, the age limit is 19 to 25. Graduation with NCC Senior Division with minimum of B grade in C certificate. NCC Special Entry for men, the age limit is 19 to 25. The education qualification required is a BE or a BTech in any notified streams. Last is the UES, University Entry Scheme. The age limit is 19 to 25 years for final year and 18 to 24 for pre-final year students. The other entries include the TGC, Technical Graduate Course in Engineers. The age limit is 20 to 27, the eligibility of BE or a BTech in notified streams in engineering. TGC Education AEC Code. The age limit is 23 to 27, the eligibility criteria and qualification required is MA or MSc in first or second division in notified subjects from recognized universities. Short Service Commission Technical for men. The age limit is 20 to 27 with an education qualification of engineering degree in notified discipline. The next three are the women entries, which includes the TGC engineers. The age limit is 20 to 27 and the education qualification required is a BE or a BTech notified streams in engineering. In SSC non-tech, the age bar is 19 to 25 for graduates and 21 to 27 for postgraduates. The education qualification required is a graduation or a PG degree with diploma or BA LLB from recognized university. Short Service Commission Technical for women includes an age limit of 20 to 27 and an education qualification of engineering degree in notified discipline. Women entry and women candidates get trained only in Officers Training Academy, Chennai. NCC Special Entry for men and women. The age limit is 19 to 25 years and they can apply for NCC units based on notifications published in Jan and July of the year. Graduates with 50% of B grade in NCCC certificate are eligible to apply. NCC Tech interview these candidates or shortlist them and send for the SSB. After 14 weeks of training in Officers Training Academy, the candidates get commissioned as short service commissioned officers. This is a speech given by the Deputy Commander and Chief Instructor of OTA, Chennai. This is the last slide of our presentation, which is the childhood credo. The safety, honor, and welfare of a country come first, always, and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of the men you command come next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety come last, always, and every time. This Childhood credo is given by Field Marshal Philip Childhood during the Indian Military Academy inauguration on 10 December 1922. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
So I will special
Is it?